Good evening and welcome to this Parish Council's EGM. Thank you for giving up your evening and attending. I've had to call this meeting so the Council can decide on how to proceed in a timely manner with the judicial review. I'll be leaving the meeting when that agenda item comes up. Sue Brown has resigned as councillor following harassment by email from a member of the public. This is extremely sad. Sue was dedicated and good councillor who embodied why people become councillors. I've come to consider Sue a friend and I wish her well in whatever she does next. That some members of the public think this toxic behaviour towards councillors or anyone else is okay is very unhealthy for this community. Sue had let us know that she wanted us to let people know why she did it. Next, our clerk has asked for the opportunity to speak. Over to you.
Right. Hello everyone. I wanted to speak to you all directly before the public participation session, as I've seen all the posts on Facebook about my recommendations. I've had no calls or emails from any members of the public. It's only my slight addiction to my phone, which means I see what happens on the village Facebook page. Please contact me directly if you have concerns so that we can talk about it. I've seen comparisons to Nazi Germany and general freedom of speech issues, which is obviously a bit theatrical. I've joined this council recently from years of working in governance. I've attended many meetings at all different levels, even as far back as my childhood. I used to read Harry Potter at the back of the room while my dad attended parish council meetings. I've attended a few of these meetings now, and I feel I have a sense for the village. It's a lovely village with so much going for it, and a small community of people who all seem to know each other and clearly have a lot of personal history. I was shocked when I first attended these meetings at the general disorder in the room. There's no respect for the institution or the fact that this is a formal meeting deciding spending for public funding. It is not an atmosphere that is conducive to open and frank discussions. I've become acquainted with all the councils now, and I've been pleasantly surprised at how they all genuinely want to help their community, despite public perception, and despite what you may think they don't always agree, and perhaps that would be more apparent if the council was able to properly discuss without disruption. I was extremely sad when Sue resigned, but she was an excellent councillor and a genuine person, and I'm really concerned that we're going to lose more excellent councillors due to the general hostility and harassing and accusatory emails from members of the public. It's been implied a few times through various channels that I'm being drip-fed or controlled by the chair and vice chair. Please be reassured that I have a mind of my own. The councillors have been very supportive of me, and I thank them for that. We should all be on the same side. No one benefits from this divisive way of thinking. Criticism is not an issue. I welcome criticism, questions, any concerns the public have, but there is a way of doing it. The same parishioners attend and interact at meetings each month, and I think we'd have more people genuinely interacting with the council if it wasn't so hostile. The chair has requested civility several times while I've been here, and I'm sure he has many times before that. He should not have to do more than that. I feel like you've all become desensitised, but this is absolutely not normal for any council meeting. Even if you don't particularly care for councillors personally, they are elected councillors and there is respect inherent to that role. I've been shocked at the behaviour I've been witnessing. I'm recommending this to the council to restore order. My job is to make sure this council is functioning correctly, and it has difficulty in performing as I wanted to, with the constant barrage of abuse from a very small minority. Councillors did not sign up for this, and it shouldn't be tolerated. I'm not trying to silence your opinions. If anything, you'll be getting far more answers from the council than you do now. I tried to make it clear in my policy proposal, but for the avoidance of doubt, I'm not proposing that I reject questions just because we don't like them or they're difficult to answer. They just need to be civil, publishable on the website, so not actionable information, understandable and relevant to the parish council. I envisage that the vast majority of questions will be fine to go in as they are. I don't believe that you're happy with the current arrangements. Most of your questions don't get answered or addressed before the discussion and vote on the subject, so what's the point? Under this system, you and the councillors will be able to consider the answers. It also means that people that aren't necessarily confident at public speaking can feel more able to submit questions to the council. A regular public participation session will always be my first choice. As soon as I think it's appropriate, I will recommend to the council that we return to a regular session. I plagiarised this policy policy from the policy I wrote for the South East Local Enterprise Partnership. You had committees handing out millions in public money. It worked well then, even during our most contentious issues, and we had no complaints that the public didn't feel they were listened to. I'm confident this will work here and will allow this council to function better for the sake of the entire village who deserve it.
Thank you, Amy. Next is public participation. Once I close the public participation, the meeting is a council meeting between councillors. From that point onwards, the members of the public are here to quietly observe. If you can't manage that, then please leave. Please remain quiet during our meeting. If you need to talk to one another, leave quietly and then come back in. We will start the meeting then with 15 minutes of public participation, possibly. Please be respectful to each other, the council and councillors. Contrary to what some people have claimed, you do not have the right to slander or lie with anyone. Please speak only once for a maximum of 3 minutes, and only once I let you know if and when it is your turn. Do not walk about. If you do, that will finish your term there and then. Okay, any questions? Alan.
Well, let me first of all thank the clerk for the, I won't call it a lecture, but it's going that way. And I'll say, okay, there's only 7 of us here. And I'll guarantee you will not find one person being discourteous or whatever. And that doesn't always happen, I appreciate it. But in the main, that is the way. Okay, so I'm not great at being lectured to. The first thing I want to say is that I was trying to think, why have you bought an EGM 8 days before a parish council meeting? Now, I can appreciate you're going to have a knee-jerk reaction to your judicial review that's come in. But to my mind, this is more about your shutting down public participation before next week. And I suspect that that's because CRC will be on the agenda next week. And you don't want to hear what we have to say about it. Okay? That's what I've got to say about that. Now, I mean, in terms of the problem that you're saying that we have, the current participation sessions are not effective, I would suggest that they're very effective. And we do have that opportunity to give you our opinions and what have you. And you do have the opportunity to listen to you. What you do with that is your own affair, but I would suggest that they are definitely effective, okay? Some of the questions cross the line of being disrespectful. Again, I've got to accept that that does happen on a very odd occasion. But, you know, there is a saying about, you know, if you can't stand the heat, whatever. Now, I spoke to Sue Brown a couple of days ago, and she told me exactly what you just said, which I find abhorrent, and I don't doubt everybody here finds that abhorrent. Now, don't you think by shutting down people at this side of the meeting, you're going to make that position worse? That people are going to be emailing in because they've got no other way, apart from asking questions, they've got no other way of being able to voice their opinions. You know, and this is what this is all about, getting you to try and listen to our opinions, okay? I'll carry on, if you bear with me. Now, what you're doing, I appreciate, is legal. You have the right to do it, to shut down public opinion. It's totally against NALC recommendations, and you probably know that. You know, and it goes against the very grain of the principles for which you are in public office and should be totally accountable for. You know, you're supposed to listen to us. Do you not see that what you're trying to do is to remedy the symptom of what happens at some of these meetings rather than the cause? You know, the cause is obviously that you don't listen. So we come along here and we shout louder. Well, personally, I don't think I ever do, but some people shout louder because you don't listen and you don't give us the opportunity, or you don't remedy the cause. You know, in in a democracy, it's vital that you listen to both sides, or we all listen to both sides. But that never happens here. It doesn't matter what we say, you carry on regardless, okay? That's my opinion. Now, I've no doubt that you're going to pass your motion tonight, you know, although I can see that possibly may not happen. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just another nail in the coffin of your demise from this council. And that's going to happen, mark my words.
Thank you. Anybody else? Sharon?
I'd like to say something. Also, in response to the clerk, all of the council meetings have been recorded and are for public record, and people can make up their own minds as to who they feel has caused the bad behaviour and the discontent within this community. And what I have witnessed is that the majority of the public have been very courteous and well-mannered in meetings, and it doesn't reflect what I have witnessed. Doesn't reflect what the clerk has said tonight. Right. If you allow public participation, you must abide by the rules surrounding the Human Rights Act 1998. Article 10 protects our rights to hold opinions and to express them freely without interference. Public authorities can only restrict this right if they can show that their action is lawful, necessary and proportionate. I don't believe that this motion can be justified under these rules. In addition, this motion would allow the clerk to vet and alter residents' representations, which would take this interference to another level and would, in effect, be telling the public exactly what they can say and think. Therefore, I would urge each councillor to seek advice on this motion before voting tonight to ensure that they are not breaching parishioners' legal rights.
This is a question about the CIC. What is the PC's justification for supporting the CIC when they have no control on how the CIC uses the money it is raised?
We'll go back to that. Okay, thank you. The meeting is now live on Teams. Next we have apologies for absence. We have apologies from Councillor Hunt and Councillor Murphy. Declarations of interest starting there. Mr. Gordon Manuel, sorry. It's all right.
It's not particularly relevant to what's in this meeting, I think, but I am employed with the school treasurer and secretary.
Nothing, please. I have a non-pecuniary other interest in matters relating to the judicial review as trustee of the HBO Schools Community Club, and in the same item, non-pecuniary as chair of the HBO FC, committee member of the HBO City Club, and secretary of the HBO Food Club. Okay. So the first item on the agenda is the public questions policy, and the motion we have is to adopt the public questions policy recommended by the clerk, updating the corresponding standard orders as detailed in the background papers. Have you got anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, what I want to say is that on the legal side of things, there is no right for the public to attend meetings, but there is no laws around exactly how they interact. So is best practice as the NLC, which is why I think that the default is the public participation as we have it, and why I said, I would recommend we return to that when I feel like it would be. So there's no legal issue as such.
And if it's not working, like say this goes through and it's not working, we can default back.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
another resolution.
I think the question from the gentleman at the end, there's probably a good example of something we can answer, and if we go into the setup of what's suggested, we would be able to answer it on the night. And I hear what you're saying about it may well be seen that questions are filtered, but how would we ensure? I mean, I trust you. Is there transparency around? Hey, here's all the stuff that came in with this is okay. As long as
Yeah, I
there's
mean, I can literally forward to the council when questions come in. Right? It's literally all I would be looking for is things that are personal insults, things that I can't publish on a website. You know, and 99.9% will be fine to go through. A lot of what I put in is just default what you put in a policy, like inappropriate. I'm not expecting to get any actually inappropriate questions, but you put that as an exception so that.
I don't think anything needs to get sent around. Maybe just
Yeah, I think I can just collate it, but you know, I think that the wording can go in as it will say, Mrs X submitted this question, and it will go in as
yeah.
I like theories. If it ain't broken, it don't need fixed. I've sitting here for many years. We are working for the public. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with it because for some reason we've never had this problem before.
I mean, I think it's.
I mean, you're new to this,
Yeah.
you know, so you've seen a lot of people with this, and there have been a lot of people with this, but at the end of the day, public matter, and so I'm not for it. No, I ain't broke for me, and that won't fix it.
Sorry, going around the table.
What's the second one?
Oh, the thing that I can go back to, I think there was a chap called Chris, I think his name was Chris, said, if we don't answer a question, can we follow up the next month? And for me, this speeds it up because you get the questions ahead of time and you can answer it, you know, a week, 2 weeks later rather than a month later. And I don't think anyone's ever really followed up on from that point anyway. So I see this as a way to actually get structure. Yeah. And I'm a fan of this. If it's not working, and in a couple of months' time this is not working, we revert back, and then we just learn from the process. That's my.
I've read your suggestion, and I thought deeply about what's been happening at the meetings. Fundamentally, we are an elected body representing the village, and parish, and I feel that this is the only public forum that parishioners have to feel that they have their actual voices heard. And so I'm with Chris, I'm struggling with the policy recommendations.
I've got a question. Let's play it out. So we receive a question, you read it out on the night and aim to answer it. Then the public then get to comment or ask questions from the answer in which is spoken.
No, but I think I would be, if it required more input from them, I'd ask for that in advance. So
Yeah.
that, you know, you didn't have to have the to and fro on the night. But I think, I mean, it's all very kind of take it as it comes.
Yeah, so I think, so there still can be participation. I think it's just maybe.
I mean, the chair not going to let anyone speak.
Yeah, okay, all right. If relevant,
Yeah.
we would still take a follow-up question if we're able to answer it on the answer.
The council instruction, you could let anyone.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's maybe where the issue might be is how do we follow up on what the answer is given?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't think that's the case. It's not being shut down. It's still open for participation. It's more, can we just get a decent answer out in real time rather than behind the time where it could be out of date?
Always a much better idea, because people can ask a question.
That's exactly the problem.
Exactly the problem, yeah. And often they've asked me a question, and I've answered the question, and then someone butts in and joins in. Whereas I can
Yeah, I mean, I think Amy is a breath of fresh air to this council with her experience. I think it's absolutely fantastic we've got a clerk who's so keen and able. And I support any proposal that she puts forward to make our public engagement sessions more productive and less hostile.
Okay. I had some concerns about this. I thought long and hard about it. I became councillor having sat in the audience and been appalled at how badly the audience behaved 15 years ago. It's progressively got worse over the years. Not improved. And this last year it's been absolutely appalling.
We wonder why.
The influences, comments like that, underline again perfectly what I'm
Do you not see that as a purpose, though?
Can you be quiet and all suspecting? That's the choice. But this is the problem. The behaviour of the public is appalling, and we have got to do something. I don't particularly like the solution, but I don't know what to do because it's not working at the minute. And to hear someone say that it is, I personally disagree with that completely. It's not working. We need to do something. So I'm prepared to give this a try and I hope that we can bring things round.
If you from your finish, can I from my hand back up? I think just be careful. It's not, just go back to what your point was, it's not terrible, but there are some things that we can make better, so we just need to be careful about kind of big statements.
I think it is.
There are, well, sometimes.
That's my opinion.
Yeah,
So I'm sharing my opinion. Just as you are. So,
I appreciate our new club. Amy's doing a good job,
great.
and she's doing a good job,
Yeah.
and coming up with new ideas. Just in this case, I'm not sure that it will benefit.
I understand that.
But, you know, well done for bringing up ideas to, you know, them over there. Sorry, we're public as well. Don't forget, public. So,
And our meeting is with each other, not with them. So we're
yes.
engaging with the public, we should engage with the council.
I mean, I've always thought when we get a question in the middle of our meetings, if it's relative, it should be addressed. Now, it could be addressed, we'll come back to it, or have you say. Obviously, that's me saying that. It's just that if they want to know something, let them know. But,
Okay.
Can I propose it with a slight amendment that we will review it in 3 months' time? Just as a quick check-in, how is it going? Is that feasible?
So you've got an amendment suggesting a review after 3 months.
Yeah.
So we want to
So
proposing
you're proposing that
I'll
as an
propose it,
amendment.
yeah.
Is there a second to the
I'll
amendment?
second that.
Okay. Can I have a show of hands to the amendment, please? Okay. Those against the amendment? Okay. For the, can I have a show of hands now for the substantive motion?
The what?
For the main part of the motion?
To vote for it,
Yes.
with the amendment in. Okay.
Yes. In favour? Or against? Okay, that was carried. Confidential topics. To resolve under the public body's admission to meetings Act 1968, extended by Section 100 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public and accredited representatives of the newspapers be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business, on the grounds that it involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972. Oh, sorry. Before we do that, that last main vote, we need a proposer and a seconder. And I'm failing if we actually need a proposer and a seconder.
Can you propose it?
Can I make an amendment and propose it?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so we have to vote on this. Okay, so can I have a show of hands for those in favour? Proposal for the confidential topics
So we're basically saying no one from the media should be in.
and the public and me.
It's your proposal.
Opposed, Councillor Artis. So Craig, second. All those in favour?
Have we got anything to hide?
It's legal proceedings.
Legal proceedings?
What is it?
Well, that's what we're
Judicial
talking about,
review.
Okay.
It's
I do get it.
Okay.
I've read all about it.
Okay, so that's carried.